Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I know for once a second video for a week. Anyways, let's hop straight into this one. So of course, before we start, don't forget to of course like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly enjoy. Now play that intro. Also sharing helps too.
It's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too pop. Getting caught with a few thoughts.
Alright, start things off where we left them actually. Kakashi does actually arrive pretty early this time. He is quite excited as he gets to see his students again. It may be even a little flashback of the time where, when they first met in the original timeline. With him arriving early this time, this means he would never get a eraser put on his head. A few things that would happen while they were eating gum. Sasuke is technically a lot more talkative since, no dramatic experience to really get him to, the way he is now. So Naruto and Sakura and Sasuke actually talking to Kakashi would arrive. To see them doing that, probably be happy to see them that way. But nevertheless, he still does go to the rooftop with them, and we start to experience a few changes here. Kakashi still does ask for their likes, dislikes, streams, and all that stuff. Kakashi would actually be more open this time and, actually say what he likes, dislikes, streams, and all that good stuff. First, we'll cover Sakura. Hers basically remains the same as in canon. Sasuke's is a bit different. Likes, one would be spending time with his brother Itachi. That still does rarely happen. And dislikes being, when his father basically ignores him or compares him to Itachi. Yeah, on to Naruto, his likes basically remain the same. His dislikes are kind of like Konohamaru's in this timeline, since some villagers would kind of see him as the fourth Hokage's son. His dream would still be to become the greatest Hokage, which is just Hokage, but the greatest Hokage in this timeline. And after, everyone will give out, their information. Follow a portion of canon of Kakashi still, tell them about the bell test and the other stuff that they probably forgot. And with that, we move on to events that happen between the bell test. Anyways, after things would be over, Naruto would head out for ramen. Maybe Sasuke joins them. That friendship starts to build a bit. This also leads to Sakura joining them too, because that probably goes without being said. Although she wouldn't be really annoyed with Naruto's appearance there since he isn't really, that annoying in this timeline. But eventually Sasuke returns home and he gets a great surprise, this being Itachi there. And Sasuke would be excited, probably run up to Itachi and give him a hug. With Itachi remarking on how he's glad to see Sasuke too. And they would have a talk catching up on things. Itachi would probably congratulate Sasuke for graduating. But besides that, just casual talk and nothing else happens in the conversation. Moving on to Naruto's point of view, and we get straight into, him arriving home and getting a surprise of seeing Rin there. Along with Kuchina, just the two enjoying their time having a conversation or maybe tea and just overall being friends. Which Kuchina will welcome him home. And he ran and go off to probably do something else. And eventually this leads to Minato coming home. By this time Ren would have left. And so would find Naruto outside. He would be training. And the two would have a talk, do some father-son bonding and probably train together for a while. And Minato would even to motivate Naruto tell him that, hey, if you pass, he'll teach him the flying Raijin. And we'll later go on to spend some private time with Kushina if you know what I mean. But other than that, we get on to the next day. To the bell test, I don't think I need to explain much. Basically, Kakashi keeps the same rules and same things happen. Naruto doesn't try and attack Kakashi right off the bat. Besides that, and Kakashi probably wishing the team luck, the bell test begins. And all three would go hide in the bushes to, make a plan to try and take the bells. Naruto would try a simple plan of what, he's heard from Minato about Kakashi. He would have heard a few things, but he wouldn't know really enough, so that first idea is kind of shot down. Sasuke plan kind of revolves more around Kakashi's fighting style since, they have sparred before, so he does know a little about how, Kakashi fights. Sakura just plain out has no plan. Meanwhile, Kakashi would just be standing there and trying to find a way to suppress himself so that he kind of doesn't hit them too hard. By now, I say he's equivalent to his Pain Arc self. Well, Pain Arc self when he doesn't have the MS ability since he never got his Mangekyo Sharingan in this timeline, but nevertheless, he would sit there having kind of all the time in the world. Eventually, after a good 30 minutes, the first kunai would be thrown straight at Kakashi, which he would easily dodge, and then a few more would follow. Then a few more, then a few more, which all would be easily deflected by Kakashi and kinda just left on the ground. And then eventually, Naruto would reveal himself charging straight at Kakashi as Kakashi would get, ready to battle him head on. And about when Naruto is a few inches away from Kakashi with all the kunai still by him, they would all turn into shadow clones and kind of jump Kakashi, him being caught off guard by this, never expecting it. As instead of attacking Kakashi, the clones would instead all start spinning around as he would be wrapped in ninja wire. And I'm not talking like spin. It's more like running around in a circle, which would render Kakashi kind of immobile. And Naruto would take this opportunity and run as fast as he can to Kakashi to grab the bells, but just in time he is able to use one of his substitutes and get out of there with the log. Although he would remark on how, close that was, and would go on to basically battle and disperse all of Naruto's. And so once he comes to the final Naruto, he would be fighting him. He would do, better than the other clones, but eventually Kakashi would plane out, just dominate him and win the fight, and would just be left there on the ground. Kakashi would be more conscious of his surroundings around him, but wouldn't expect as the clone would disperse and he would be attacked from underground with a straight up uppercut from Naruto. He would have straight up burrowed his way through. Also, maybe a little flashback from Kakashi when he did it at tuning exams. Although he wouldn't have seen it, he would have heard of it. Naruto would probably scream something ever, I can't come up with anything, and would go to grab the bells. However, Kakashi would be able to recover just in time and grab his hand and basically leave him pinned on the ground and tied to a tree. Well, held by a tree by a rope. Sasuke is still the next, using this opportunity to try and attack Kakashi. This would obviously not work. This wouldn't play out that different from in canon, so Kakashi would probably remark on how we would expect it more from Sasuke in this timeline since he still goes on to take out Sakura pretty much easily. Though Sasuke does come at Kakashi eventually and uses his Sharingan and his knowledge of Kakashi's fighting style, well, from what he's seen, tries being more up close and personal and tries every trick he has. He does have his Sharingan active, if I didn't bring that up. It does pretty well and is able to catch Kakashi, lacking in multiple times or instances and takes those openings and gets so close to taking the bells, but Kakashi, for about a second, would have to speed up a bit more, catching Sasuke completely off guard and stopping him in his tracks before he can take a bell. And when eventually Kakashi powers up more, he eventually, stops Sasuke in his tracks and just leaves him in a headhunt jutsu as in canon, meaning that everyone's defeated. And Kakashi would probably tie Sakura to the pool, or maybe Naruto for nostalgia purposes. He still gives him a second chance as in canon and still tells him the same thing, and they either Naruto and Sasuke end up feeding Sakura, or Sakura and Sasuke end up feeding Naruto, and Kakashi still fakes rage, and they do still pass. That basically plays out not that different from canon, although Sakura will probably be less reluctant to give Naruto something for food. But yeah, the team pass and go home to celebrate. So that will end off the prologue to the Land of Waves, and that would also end off this video. As always, hopefully you enjoyed, and don't forget to, of course, like, comment, subscribe, and sharing. That does help. And see you next time. Have a nice day, everyone.